Miles Harford, betrayal in the funeral home, a call for justice. The air hangs heavy with grief, not just for the departed, but for the desecration they suffered. Miles Harford's guilty plea is a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities within the funeral industry and the urgent need for systemic change. This is a story of broken trust, shattered peace, and a desperate plea for accountability. Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Christina Rosales, a 63-year-old woman who succumbed to Alzheimer's, deserved dignity in death. Instead, her body was discovered in a hearse, abandoned for over a year. This horrifying discovery unveiled a deeper, more disturbing truth about Miles Harford's practices. The investigation revealed the improperly stored cremated remains of at least 30 individuals. These remains were callously discarded at Harford's rental property, some even found in the crawlspace. The indignity inflicted upon these individuals and their families is immeasurable. Rosales' story is a tragic example of the vulnerability of the deceased and the families who entrust their care to funeral homes. The betrayal of this trust is a wound that may never fully heal. Miles Harford initially faced a dozen charges reflecting the scope of his alleged misconduct. These charges included forgery and multiple counts of corpse abuse, painting a grim picture of his actions. A plea agreement resulted in the dismissal of most charges, a decision that may leave many feeling that justice has not been fully served. However, the judge stipulated that all victims be named in the 2 remaining charges, acknowledging the widespread impact of Harford's actions. Despite the dismissed charges, Harford remains liable for restitution, offering a glimmer of hope for financial compensation for the affected families. He was arrested a year ago, marking the beginning of a legal battle that has been closely watched by the community. Harford is represented by lawyers from the State Public Defender's Office, which maintains a policy of not commenting on its cases to the media. This silence only amplifies the frustration and pain felt by the victims' families. The full extent of the abuse and theft remains shrouded in secrecy, with limited information revealed during the court hearing. This lack of transparency adds another layer of anguish for the families seeking answers. The district attorney indicated a potential prison sentence of up to 18 months. While a prison sentence may offer some measure of justice, it can never fully compensate for the emotional and spiritual harm inflicted. The details that have emerged paint a picture of callous disregard for the deceased and their families. The lack of transparency surrounding the case only deepens the sense of betrayal. Harford's case is not an isolated incident. It follows a series of similar, gruesome cases in Colorado, exposing a systemic problem within the funeral industry. This pattern of misconduct demands immediate and comprehensive action. One previous case involved nearly 200 bodies stored improperly, highlighting the potential for widespread abuse. Another case revealed families being given fake cremated remains, a cruel and heartless deception. These cases demonstrate a disturbing trend of negligence and disrespect within the industry. They underscore the urgent need for stricter regulations and greater oversight. These horrifying cases prompted lawmakers to pass sweeping new regulations aimed at providing greater oversight of the funeral industry. These regulations are a crucial step towards preventing future abuses and protecting vulnerable families. The new regulations seek to prevent future abuses by establishing stricter standards for the handling of human remains. They also aim to increase transparency and accountability within the industry. Colorado's funeral home industry previously operated with little oversight, creating an environment ripe for exploitation. The new regulations represent a significant improvement, but ongoing vigilance is essential. The Miles Harford case serves as a stark reminder of the importance of accountability and ethical practices within the funeral industry. It underscores the need to protect the dignity of the deceased and the well-being of grieving families. This case is a call to action. We must demand greater transparency, stricter regulations, and a commitment to ethical conduct from all those who serve in the funeral industry. The memory of those who were wronged demands nothing less. The pain and suffering inflicted upon the victims' families cannot be undone. However, by holding those responsible accountable and implementing meaningful reforms, we can strive to prevent such tragedies from happening again. The Harford case is a stain on the funeral industry, but it also presents an opportunity for positive change. Let us honor the memory of the victims by working together to create a system that protects the dignity of the deceased and supports grieving families. This is not just about legal proceedings, it's about human decency. It's about ensuring that those entrusted with the care of our loved ones are held to the highest ethical standards. It's about restoring faith in a system that has been deeply shaken. The fight for justice is far from over. We must continue to advocate for the rights of victims and their families, and we must demand accountability from those who betray their trust. Only then can we begin to heal the wounds inflicted by this horrific case. The Harford case is a tragedy, but it can also be a catalyst for change. Let us work together to create a funeral industry that is worthy of the trust placed in it by grieving families. Let us honor the memory of the victims by ensuring that their suffering was not in vain. The road to healing will be long and difficult, but it is a journey we must undertake together. By supporting the victims' families, advocating for stronger regulations, and demanding accountability, we can create a more just and compassionate system. The Miles Harford case is a reminder that we must never take for granted the importance of ethical conduct and accountability. We must remain vigilant in our efforts to protect the dignity of the deceased and the well-being of grieving families. The legacy of this case should be one of positive change. Let us work together to create a funeral industry that is worthy of the trust placed in it by grieving families. Let us honor the memory of the victims by ensuring that their suffering was not in vain. Call to action. If you or someone you know has been affected by the Miles Harford case or similar incidents, please contact your local victim advocacy group or legal aid organization. Support legislation aimed at strengthening funeral industry regulations. Share this video to raise awareness and demand accountability. Together, we can ensure that no family ever has to endure such a horrific betrayal again.